Alrighty, welcome back to Hind the Hog. I'm your sick host, Sawyer Dillinger, alongside my dad, co-host John Dillinger.
Who is feeling much better.
We got a really good episode for you today. Very excited for this one. I do want to preface, I'm a little sick, so if I sound a little hoarse and cough a whole lot, don't mind it. I'll be all right.
Well, they're going to be okay with it because that means the old man gets to do most of the talking on this episode.
We got a really short episode for you today. Dad walked in here about 5 minutes ago, didn't text me, didn't warn me, had no idea we was about to film this podcast.
Let's go, dude.
And so here we are. So a very unusual and thrown together podcast today, but it's going to be a good one nonetheless. It always is.
This podcast has been 30 years in the making. I mean, you're not even 30 years old yet. But literally, if you are from Northeast Arkansas, you've been waiting for this football game to happen your whole life. We are Razorback fans through and through, but like we kind of discussed on last, I don't know what episode it was ago, last time we did a preview episode, or maybe it was the season preview.
Yeah, I think it was the
episode where
season
we were talking
preview
about this game.
Yeah.
I grew up in Truman, Arkansas. You have lived in Truman for a long time now. Truman is basically a suburb of Jonesboro.
Yes.
So Jonesboro is northeast Arkansas. It's the biggest city in northeast Arkansas. It's a home to the Arkansas State Red Wolves, previously known as the Arkansas State Indians. And growing up in Jonesboro area, northeast Arkansas, again, over here, I would say the majority of people are Razorback fans, but you've got you've got a good contingent of just diehard Indians / Red Wolf fans. And then you got a pretty good, I think, cross-section of folks like us who are fans of both schools because we don't view them on the same level because they're not. One is – I always looked at the Razorbacks as the pro team in Arkansas and the Red Wolves as the Indians as the local kind of, college football team around here, smaller college. And I know that really ticks off the diehard Red Wolf fans, and so that's going to upset them, but that's good. That's okay. Have pride in, your school. Again, I went to the university, Arkansas State University. But even then I was still able to hold both, fandom of both programs. These two programs have never played before. That's so unusual for, a state to have two Division I football programs and them never play. It was basically Frank Broyles, the longtime athletic director, did not want that there to ever be competition within the state of Arkansas. One of the reasons he came to Arkansas was that there was no other inside the state competition. And after Frank passed away, everybody started, mainly the Red Wolf fans, but also a big portion of the fans like myself that are fans of both programs say, maybe it's time for them to play. Jeff Long never got it done. Hunter Yurchak, one of the first things he did was put this game on the schedule. It's been on the schedule since 2020. And I know your oldest brother, Evan, he put in his time at work. He's probably had at least on a second job from then now. But we've been anticipating this game for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Super excited for it. This Saturday, a historic matchup takes place at War Memorial Stadium. It's set to hold the first ever matchup, like you said, between the Razorbacks and the Red Wolves. The game is set for kickoff at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It'll be streamed on ESPN and the SEC Network for everyone to watch. However, we're going to this game, so we're not gonna have to watch this on television. This will be one that we get the excitement to. Of course, we're gonna go to this one being that A-State's 15 minutes down the road, it's a team
Yeah.
that I've watched a whole lot, and then being Razorback fans, you can't miss out on this one.
So the easy part of Arkansas' schedule's over. Alabama
Yep.
A&M was it.
Yep.
Our next 3 games are against local regional D1 programs, starting with the smallest of
Yep.
them, Arkansas State, but again, local regional D1 program. Then after that, Ole Miss, who has been, our scourge lately, it seems. Although, we go back and forth, but when they beat
Yeah.
us, they beat us bad.
Yeah, it's actually pretty even, I believe, right now.
No, I just mean
Yeah.
like last year, that score I can't
Yeah,
get over.
insane.
And then after that, Memphis. And basically, Arkansas State, Ole Miss, and University of Memphis, they're all right there within, hour and a half of one another. All basically suburbs of Memphis.
Mhm.
Jonesboro's an hour from Memphis. Oxford's maybe an hour from Memphis. Just really that regional hub right there. They're all competing against one another. Arkansas, the University of Arkansas, doesn't really compete against A-State for athletes. We do lose some to them that would transfer to them,
Mhm.
from us here and there.
Yeah.
But Arkansas State does compete with Memphis for athletes. They do compete sort of with the lower level Ole Miss guys. They're all in there. So we've got 3 regional, and even though A-State's not a rival because we've never played before, but still 3 local regional D1 programs. Big recruiting impact over the next 3 to 4 weeks.
Absolutely. Just excited for this game to happen. I believe it's only this. I think it's just this one time.
Yeah, this is one and done. It's the last game in War Memorial, and they're ending it on a really cool game. They're going to do the in-state game here between the 2 programs. It's never played before. I was telling you a couple weeks ago, when we was talking about this game, I can remember back in the old A-State days where everybody around here had a bumper sticker on their car. You can still see it. There's one hanging up in Fat City up in Jonesboro Restaurant. And it's the Runnin' Joe mascot, the old mascot, who I think was a very classic and iconic mascot. I wish I'd had you pull one of those up. And he was chasing a hog, and it said, "How long will they run?" It's all it said on it, And, I can remember that. And, so they're closing out the University of Arkansas's games in Little Rock, which we've played at least one game in Little Rock for, I don't know,
A long time.
70 years.
Yep.
It's a long, long time. So to end it, I'm glad we're ending on this instead of like Louisiana
Kent
Monroe
State.
or, even somebody like BYU or something. This is a cool game
Yeah.
to me personally to end the War Memorial games.
Yeah, to have your 2 major, they are the other
Yeah, we'll
major
give 'em the
part.
props.
Yeah, the 2 major sports teams to play in the capital, the state's capital. That is a really cool thing. And as far as we're concerned, we keep saying this is the last game. It's the last scheduled game for War Memorial. The governor could always put it into, make a law or whatever where we have to continue the contract with them or whatever they want to do there. But, so to our knowledge, the last game of War Memorial, and so far the only game that we're scheduled to play against Arkansas State. There's no future plans to play them yet that we're aware of.
Now, again, remember Sam Pittman said he'd be willing to play them.
As long as they want to come.
And I said, if I was Butch Jones and
give me that deal right now, I'll
I'd say,
sign it.
let's jump on it.
Yeah.
Because going this game, Arkansas State has nothing to lose.
Mm-mm.
Everything to gain. If they get beat by 60 points, their fan base is going to be
upset, but
hurt for a week or 2, but it's not that big of a deal. So if they was to jump up and upset and win this game, I mean, it
I wouldn't
has
want to. I
everybody.
wouldn't go to work if I was a
On the
Hog
flip
fan.
side, for the Razorbacks, if they beat them by 70 points and nobody's going to give them any props,
Yeah,
if they only beat them by 7 or 14 points, everybody's going to say, "Oh man, you almost lost." If they was to lose, I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
it
so
wouldn't
they
be
have
good.
nothing to gain in this. So that's why I said if I was A-State people, I'd jump on it. You're not going to beat them very often, but when you do, it's going to be monumental to your program, and
Absolutely.
especially for recruiting inside the state of Arkansas, which I'm surprised neither football team has a lot of Arkansas players. I think both teams have something like 10 to 12
Yeah, not much.
you know, Arkansas kids, and that's a shame. Both of these programs,
Especially A-State.
well,
Especially.
no, I'm saying both of them.
For
Especially
sure,
the
but-
Hogs. The Hogs is the flagship program of this state. You should fill out that roster with, like, there's kids on A-State. Well, I mean, this is not a good year for it, but in times past, when the Red Wolves had a large number of in-state kids, you know, there would be guys on that team that would have rather walked on to be a Razorback
Yep.
than to took a scholarship to be there. You want guys like that. You want guys that grew up wanting to be a Razorback. They may be a little undersized or whatever, but, you know, we're letting all these in-state kids, we're letting these kids that have names like the Lindsays and,
Yep.
you know, families that are so tied to the state, so tied to the program, we're just letting them go to these other programs, and it's
a
a
lot
shame.
of times they're going to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Ole
they
Miss is
are.
recruiting the heck out of
Auburn,
Arkansas.
Ole Miss, A&M,
Missouri.
you know, and so Arkansas needs to get back to filling its roster out with Arkansas kids that love this state. You're going to get more out, you know, if everything's identical, you know, you're going to get more out of that kid because it's going to mean more to him. He's going to play for that logo on that helmet.
Absolutely.
Looking at the
Yeah, just curious to see where they're going for the most part. Teams like Oklahoma State, SMU,
ridiculous.
Oklahoma, Miami is getting. How do you go to Miami?
Did you see?
Appalachian State.
And this is crazy.
Yeah.
I haven't even looked at this. It's sickening. Every one of those players.
If you're a 4-star and you're not going to Arkansas, that is a testament to Arkansas recruiting. That's
I
bad.
believe it was Ja'Cory Smith. There was 2 players that was being interviewed by DJ Williams on 4th and 5 the other day.
If we don't get Terry Hodges, I've watched him play. I'm gonna be mad.
And so I think it was Hodges and Smith. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. It might have been Nelson too. But anyways, there was 2 players. It just kind of run through my
Yep.
reels. I didn't watch the whole video. It was just a short or something. Anyways, he was talking about them, you know, and he said, so the last question is, what do I got to do to convince you guys to be Razorbacks? And they both laughed. They were both like, we would never be Razorbacks. And they both basically said that's on them. Because he asked them why, and he said, that's on them. Meaning that and they said something about they, you know, ruined the relationship. They didn't try to recruit them, and they didn't try to recruit them very hard. They you know, wasn't willing to offer them any money. You know,
Yeah.
there was something there that they actually laughed in DJ Williams' face. And then he commented on that, you know, and he broke it down. He's like, there is a severe problem when these top players would not even consider
Mm-hmm.
coming to the University of Arkansas, because that didn't used to be the case. I mean, could you imagine if we didn't get Darren McFadden?
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine if Matt Jones had never been an Arkansas Razorback, or, you know, Joe Adams or Greg Childs,
Even
or
Traylon Burks.
Traylon Burks? I mean, can you imagine if these guys, and that's what we're seeing. We're seeing.
I can't
top
imagine
tier
how
players.
many of those caliber players that we've missed out on just because. And I understand, like, you know, I understand where you're coming from with wanting to see the roster filled out with Arkansas players, but I also understand that Arkansas high school football is not like going and watching Texas high school or Louisiana or these other. Arkansas high school football is just not the same as everywhere else, so I get that you're not recruiting and you don't have 25 Arkansas players on your team, but I do also firmly believe that we're missing out on 96 rated players that are going to LSU over us, and that's the bad part. When you're not getting the top players from your state, we should have every single year. We should have 6 to 8 of the top 10 players from Arkansas come into our team every year. There's
at
no
least.
point that we should not.
And you'd want all 10 of them.
Of course,
But we're not.
yeah. But
And-
when
and
your
that
number one
is an
player is
indictment
going somewhere
on-
else, that's bad.
That's an indictment on Coach Pittman and his staff.
There's no doubt about it. They're just not recruiting the state heavily enough. This is the first time in a while I've seen that many 4-stars, and not a single one of the 4-stars went to Arkansas. That's not good. So definitely a problem there with not recruiting as well in state. They recruit the crap out of Mississippi. They're great at recruiting there, but so I'd like to see them recruit better here.
Here's the thing. Why? Why go? I understand we have to recruit Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Georgia, Florida.
Yeah.
We have to recruit those states to fill out the roster, but we're skipping homegrown kids to go after the same maybe talent level of a kid in Mississippi. If I'm choosing between, Apple from Arkansas versus Apple from Mississippi, give me the Arkansas Apple every time.
They'll want to play harder for you. Absolutely. I'm with you there.
There's just more of a vested interest. Their family can come to the games. There's just so many reasons why you would want those Arkansas players to stay in state and play for your school.
Absolutely. It's just a pride thing. When you're from the state, you want to play your best for the state because it's going to be watching you. The same people that's went to all your high school games can go to your college games and everything like that. So, yeah, I've got a few interesting facts here just to kind of branch off from the recruiting talk there. Arkansas State was originally established in 1909 as an agricultural high school. Probably most people wouldn't have known that. Before becoming an agricultural college, and it wasn't actually named Arkansas State University until 1967, almost 60 years after its original establishment.
Well, I did know that their first nickname was the Aggies.
Yep.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, they were the Agricultural Mechanical College, and then they were the something, and then it became Arkansas State College, and then it became Arkansas State University in 1967.
Was it 67? I felt like I remembered it switching to Arkansas State University, but I was born in '80, so that's.
I was about to say
it was
you might have been a grown man back then. You old as you are. Each state or each school has changed its name a couple times, mascots over the years. Of course, the U of A was originally a cardinal. That's where we get the cardinal red color scheme from, and then A-State being called the Indians up until 2008. So apparently, I was alive when they were the Indians.
Well, they had
been
the Gorillas too. They were the Aggies.
The Gorillas, really?
The Gorillas. At some point in time, there was something else for a while, and then they became the Indians, and it was. Of course, under that Indian mascot, where they rose to prominence and to national attention. Arkansas State University has a good football tradition. In the 50s, let's see, I got some notes on this somewhere. They had a coach named Forrest England. And they actually played in 4 different bowl games in the 50s. The top of which was the Tangerine Bowl, which is now the Capital One Bowl.
Okay.
So that's a big
Yeah,
time
that's a good bowl.
Then the late 60s and 70s, they had a coach named Benny Ellender, and Benny Ellender, he put them on the map. They were in the Southland Conference. They were basically playing FCS. They were FCS until now I can remember them moving from FCS to major division. It wasn't called FCS back then. It was called 1A, I think.
Yep.
I remember when they went from 1A to Division 1. It was tough on them because they were so They were such a prominent football team in the old Division 1A league, where like North Dakota State and Montana and all them play now.
Harding.
Arkansas State was, like I said, they had that big run in the 50s, then in the 60s, and then in 1970 actually won the national championship. They were it wasn't just one that they claimed. They were 11-0. They won the Pecan Bowl. The AP and the Football Writers of America voted them. Back then it was called the College Division National Champion, what we would call FCS. So the same as Alabama, Birmingham, and then in the 80s, they had a head coach, and that was where I become familiar with them. Their head coach his name was Larry Lacewell, and you've probably heard that name before. He has been with the Dallas Cowboys for a long time as one of Jerry Jones's favorite assistants. That's kind of stayed with him for a long time. Larry Lacewell had them rocking and rolling. They were, upsetting, big time schools, and then University of Tennessee hired him away as their defensive coordinator. And it was that time they kind of took a dip. I remember Joe Hollis was the coach. They were going through that was when they were moving from Division 1A up to Division 1. Seemed like they were maybe independent for a couple years. They were in this big Sky or something conference with like Idaho and all these weird teams from out west. And Joe Hollis was the coach and didn't have much success. They were going through that whole mascot change with the Indians and, people in an uproar over that. Well, when they did that rebranding to the Red Wolves, and we were talking about this before we started, they did probably the best rebranding job of any of the teams got run out of their Native American. And, you can have your opinion on that. I've never heard a Native American complaining about it. It's always somebody else getting offended for somebody else.
Exactly. And it doesn't really make sense because when you push that stuff out, you're kind of just,
you're just forgetting.
You're just forgetting about the history.
Arkansas State, I used to feel like they did a really good job of honoring the local, Native American culture
tribes
around here. Yeah, and even when you study the word Indian, a lot of people are confused on that. They think that they thought the Native Americans were people from India, and that's not even true. So, anyways,
they
did one of the best jobs of rebranding.
No doubt.
Probably the absolute best job of all the sports.
Yes.
Period.
Yeah, even without the India, if you've changed your logo, there's no better changing from one logo to another than this one here, in my opinion. And fun fact, the reason they went with the Red Wolf, it was an effort to contribute to the conservation of the endangered species once native to Arkansas. Did you know that?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And then also it ties into the Indian heritage because the Indians and
the Red Wolves, the wolves and all that.
So sacred part of their culture.
So, in my opinion, other than the partialness I have to the Razorback, I think the Arkansas State logo is one of the cleanest logos in all of sports. It is a super slick, clean, nice logo, and it's a national recognized logo. If you see that, you more than likely know. If you have any care about sports, you know this logo here. It's a really cool logo.
I think it is the best of the lower college.
What ones
logos.
would you put above it?
Well,
I'd like to debate you right now.
Like the Razor, it's not as iconic as the Razorback.
Well,
it's
I'm
not
not
as iconic as the A on the Alabama helmet. It's
boring.
not as iconic as a Power T. It's
boring.
not up to that level. But
I'm talking about the way it looks.
Well, I think it looks great.
Yeah.
When you compare it to all of the other ones, I would say anything outside of the SEC, I think it's up there.
Yeah.
And it's probably better than some of the SEC ones. It's definitely better than Missouri's, and it's better
Vanderbilt.
than Vanderbilt's or A&M's for that matter. Mississippi State's.
Also,
So
did you know that the Arkansas State Red Wolves is the most played team in the college football games?
I heard that a lot of people, it's like it's very trendy
Mm-hmm.
to be playing. Like even national pundits and stuff,
Yep.
they're playing with Rayner and the Red Wolves.
Yep.
It's like they're
Even before
their team
this
to
one,
build your dynasty.
yeah,
with.
in the 2013, and I did this a lot too without knowing other people were doing it. You went to them because first off, they have some of the nicest uniforms and helmets for sure, and just the way the Red Wolf logo is. But we would always go and play their dynasty to rebuild and make them a national championship team. And that's apparently, I didn't know this until a couple weeks ago. It's the most played team in all of the college football games.
That's
So I
wild.
thought that was pretty neat.
That is cool. So just to finish up the history, once they rebranded and everything, they had their biggest run of success in the early 2010s. And what I mean by that is obviously not, it's not like winning a national championship, but on the major Division I level, they had their best run of success when they went from Coach Steve Roberts to hiring Hugh Freeze,
Yep.
who was an up-and-comer, and I think he may have even been the offensive coordinator under Steve Roberts. They elevated him to be the head coach. Of course, Hugh Freeze had a fantastic season here, won the Sun Belt, pretty sure won 10-plus games,
Yep.
Won a bowl game. Took that, became the Auburn.
Ole Miss. Or is he at Ole Miss now? No.
Yeah, you're right.
He's at Ole Miss. Went to
Made
Auburn.
the Ole Miss head coach.
Yep.
Then we hire Gus Malzahn,
Yeah.
famed Arkansas high school coach, went to University of Arkansas, the whole debacle with
Mm-hmm.
Houston Nutt. Then he went to Tulsa as the offensive coordinator there. They hire him. He has a fantastic season. Red Wolves are back-to-back Sun Belt champions, back-to-back double-digit win seasons, win their bowl game. 1 year, and he jumps ship and goes to be the Auburn head coach.
Yeah.
He had been the national champion Auburn offensive coordinator
Yep.
before coming here. That was wild that I couldn't believe when they hired him. I thought, wow. After that, they hired Brian Harsin, who did not live up to those two guys, but
Yeah.
again, another solid coach. He, wins at the Sun Belt, double-digit wins. He takes that and jumps to become the Boise State head coach. So you're talking about back-to-back 3 head coaches that really,
Yeah.
I mean, Arkansas State, everybody was looking at Arkansas State after those 3 guys. They're like,
Yeah.
wow.
They're just.
And then they hired Blake Anderson, and everybody thought he was probably going to be the next guy. He just kind of petered around in slightly above mediocrity. Never could capitalize on the success that the prior 3 guys
Yep.
had. Wound up somehow getting the Utah State job out of it, but he kind of was the Brett Bielema
Mm-hmm.
for them. It kind of, after Bobby
Yeah.
Petrino just didn't ever,
Yeah,
had
wasn't
some good
terrible, but-
seasons, right. Well, Blake Anderson never got as bad as Brett Bielema. Then
Yeah.
they hired Butch Jones, who was probably as bad in his first couple seasons.
Yes.
I couldn't believe Butch Jones made it this far. But Butch Jones has done a good job. He
Yes.
had a good season last year.
He's recruited for
And
him, and
Not only are they hot on playing the Nintendo game you was talking about or whatever, but they're a hot team. Everybody recognizes them, and they're probably going to make a run at the Sun Belt this year.
yeah, I mean they're set up perfectly to do so. I've always thought that Arkansas State should be at the top of the Sun Belt year in and year out because when you look at the teams they play, there's not another team that has the recognition as Arkansas State does. So they should always be in contention for it. I think that he has the ability and the coaching ability to do so. Of course, Butch Jones is the former head coach of the Tennessee Volunteers.
Was much better at Cincinnati, though. He
Yeah.
was I think the first maybe in that line of really good Cincinnati head coaches, he did a great job. You know, Brian Kelly at LSU was in that line of Cincinnati head coaches. Luke Fickell was in that line. So,
Yeah.
I think it pretty much started there, maybe with Butch Jones, but he's a good coach, and he's turned them around from his earlier seasons. What now? No doubt, if you're Arkansas State Red Wolves, we talked about this helmet. We talked about they're doing a good job. They're gonna roll out this helmet, right?
There's
I would
almost no
I
doubt.
would mark out if they would wear, because I think Arkansas State's classic Big A State helmet
Yeah.
is one of the best looking helmets in college football.
Yeah.
I love that helmet.
It's really nice.
Let's see. Click on that one. You know, that right there.
Yeah. The Big A.
I
in
mean,
the
that's
state.
just a clean classic. That's the helmet I grew up on. I hated that. Go up here. There's that Indians helmet with that right there. I hated
That's
that
terrible.
helmet,
That is
When-
atrocious.
you know, but
Oh,
when
here we are.
Arkansas State would come out in that all black jersey, black pants, black helmet, they couldn't always back it up, but they always looked mean.
Yeah, I've always thought that they've had some of the nicest jersey combinations.
Yeah,
the all black with the red accent. I wish
They're
Arkansas
trendy.
would do that.
They're trendy. I don't. I like. I'm old school, but for the
I
kids,
even
see-
liked. Yeah, of course, it's nice to have the classic red A, but like I mean, even the new ones, the icy white with the
I can
black.
see the kids liking that.
Yeah, I even liked, and this is going to be super unpopular because everybody
Guarantee
hated
you
these
The High on the
uniforms.
Hog fans are sick of all this A-State talk.
Yeah. Anyways, but this is a very unpopular opinion because I know how much everybody hated the jerseys, but I even thought that the granite Arkansas jerseys, that gray, I thought they were pretty nice. I thought they were neat, but
Yeah.
I know everybody hated those jerseys. But I really wish Arkansas would come out at least one game and do an all-black uniform with a little bit of red. But, I mean, I do understand where it kind of we're just copying the Arkansas State, but that's a nice jersey. They do good.
That's a good look. That's classic A-State.
Moving on from all the Arkansas State talk, just a tad bit of
Let's talk about
history
this okay,
for
go
the
ahead.
Razorbacks. Just a little line here. The Razorbacks have actually played against 5 in-state programs, but never Arkansas State, which is surprising to play against 5 other ones because
Well, they didn't
most
even used
people
to do
wouldn't even
that.
know that there's 5 others, and there's
Yeah.
actually more.
They
but-
didn't used to do that. They kind of have done that to try to put everybody off. Well, okay, well,
Yeah.
we're playing an in-state school. All of that was in prep leading up
Yeah.
to this game.
Most of these games were actually prior to like the 1940s era.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Just some old stuff.
Yeah, the
they played
more
some
is UAPB,
UAPB.
in recent history, 2019,
Seemed like-
2021.
Did they play UCA not too long ago, maybe?
I don't know if
I
they've.
feel like I remember
I don't
an
know if they ever.
Arkansas
I don't think they've
UCA
ever
game.
played UCA. I don't believe.
I know A-State plays them and used to play them every year, and UCA was kind of beating them, and they may have
history
stopped
between the-
that.
Football at A State. Yeah, I don't think they've ever played
That's all A-State
Central Arkansas
stuff.
defeated Arkansas. That's 95-0.
That would've been
Yeah,
Arkansas State.
because I was looking it up. They've never played UCA either. Which, I mean, I don't know why I'm saying this, but UCA used to be the University of Arkansas Teachers College. I don't know why I know that, but I do. But, yeah, so the Razorbacks have played against 5 other in-state programs: Arkansas Tech, Arkansas Monticello,
Fighting Boll Weevils.
the Boll Weevils. What a weird name.
Funny story. Timbo, one of our watchers here, who we're waving at on there. Timbo, one of his first jobs was for the Boll Weevil eradication program that the state of Arkansas used to do. He
Really?
didn't know what a Boll Weevil was.
I've never heard of a
And
Boll
so
Weevil.
they told him, that they're like, he goes work for them. They got these helicopters. They're flying over
What?
fields. They've got all these, ATVs. And so he asked them, they told him, we want you to go out and check the Boll Weevil traps.
I'd be
He's like,
horrified.
he's like, do I get a gun? And they're like, what do you need a gun for? He's like, well, what if one of these Boll Weevils get out of this
Yeah.
trap? And they're like, dude, it's a bug. He thought it was like a weasel,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
mongoose or something. So
Well, what do they need helicopters
that's
for?
Timbo for you. Well, that's what he thought. He
That-
thought, man, they got helicopters.
If they've
and
got
stuff.
helicopters and
These things must be bad to the
ATVs,
bone.
I'm thinking I'm fighting
These boll
bears.
weasels is supposed to get me.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, I need some. I gotta have this. Be strapped.
Yeah, speaking of boll weevils, Arkansas's colleges, I can't talk at all, but their colleges, they all have weird names like
What about the fighting wampus cats?
the Wumpus Cats, the Mule Riders, the Wonder Boys. I
Wonder
mean,
Boys.
they've got some interesting names. But yeah, so also UA Pine Bluff, Central Arkansas. Okay, so we have played Central Arkansas before because I put them in there. In Hendrix College. They've only ever lost once in all the games that they've ever played in the Arkansas games to the Monticello Boll Weevils
Fighting boll weevils get a hold
in
of you.
1943 in a
Tearing you up.
20-12 victory. They beat the Razorbacks. So
Boll
that's
weevils ain't nothing to mess with.
that's all of my notes there that I've got. I guess we'll go ahead and get into the games a little bit. Arkansas State played last week against the Southeast Missouri State Redhawks. Beat them 42-24 in a pretty dominant fashion there. It was a home game for the Red Wolves, and you know that Centennial Bank Stadium gets to rock.
Vault.
And
We've been
I
to a
think
lot of
that's-
games there.
is it the Vault? I think that's
what
Ole
they call it.
Miss, or is that the Vault? That's the Vault.
Yeah, this
That's a
is the
horrible
Vault.
stadium. I think Jonesboro is a
bad.
nicer stadium than Ole Miss. Ole Miss is terrible. I hate Ole Miss. Did I mention I hate Ole Miss? So Jalen
Not
Rayner.
today, you haven't.
Jalen Rayner is the quarterback for Arkansas State, and I've mentioned him previously because he is a player that I'm high on. Jalen Rayner is a really good quarterback, and he proved it last week, going 26 for 32, 345 yards, and 3 touchdowns. No interceptions recorded for that game. Didn't rush as much as I would have expected him to, 4 for 17 yards, no touchdown there, because he is a dual-threat quarterback. Now, I'm pretty sure he is a hefty guy. I think he's a little bit big. Okay, I absolutely lied there. For some reason, I picture KJ Jefferson's build when I look at Jalen Rayner in my head. But
I mean, he's not lean. You know, he could take a lick, but he's well built, young man.
did Malik Hornsby graduate yet? Is he still there? I think he's graduated now. He
Yeah.
played for him last year.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was their wide receiver.
Oh.
He transferred from Arkansas to Arkansas State, and did what I thought we should have done with him and
Played
moved
the
him
wide
over
receiver.
as wide receiver, and he recorded quite a bit of receptions for him there. But yeah, so Jalen Rayner, a player I'd watch out for. He's going to be. Man, he's going to throw the ball. He's going to throw the ball a lot. And Arkansas State is a good team. Don't get it twisted. They were a top 25 offense last year. And I don't know how true it is. I seen in a comment posted on the page that they were like we were 5th and they were 6th in offense in one of the stats there. So they're a good offense. This is going to be a battle of offenses. You know, which defense can step up, which I mean, personally, I think Arkansas is not going to let this one be too close, but it's going to be a great game if you're a fan of offense.
So I watched the game between Arkansas State and SEMO, and what impressed me was that Arkansas State has some real good players in their skill position. You know, Jalen Rayner, I don't have to say nothing about him. If you know anything about this team, you know about him.
Yeah.
He is the real deal. He's
He
a
is.
quarterback that could play in the SEC
For sure.
at some of the schools. He is a dual threat quarterback. He can throw from the pocket, he can throw on the run.
Yep.
He made some throws where he was almost getting tackled and then come up and threw it and hit a guy. He had one throw, he threw it from the 30 and threw that ball 65 or 70 yards. He's got an arm
Yeah.
on him and caught down at the other like 25 or 20.
Yep.
I mean, I was thoroughly impressed. But they've got other guys. They've got a couple of big tight ends. I think it was Little was one of them's name, and Fortenberry was the other one.
Doesn't sound too big.
They're like, no, Little was like 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah.
Fortenberry, same thing. Big, tall guys that can block, also that can catch the ball. Those two guys ain't going to get a lot of yards after the tackle, but they've got some receivers that can.
Yep.
Chauncey Cobb, Corey Rucker,
Corey
who's
Rucker's
one of the best wide
Play-
receivers
Yep.
in the conference. I think maybe he was the one that transferred out last year and to like Penn State and then come back. They had a player. I'm pretty sure it was him. Running backs. I was looking for Jaquez Cross to.
I'm looking for
carry
him
the load.
often, but
He didn't get the majority. Kenyon Clay got the majority, but Spencer, Man, he popped off a 26-yard, or 40.
43 here, 43-yard long.
Yeah, he had how did he have? He must have had.
Oh, that
his
don't
other
make
twos
sense.
must have been losses.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a 43-yard touchdown run. Man, he just burned it right up the middle. He's got some speed.
Yep.
So they've got some very good skill position players. On defense, I was more impressed with the A-State defense, specifically the linebacker. We talked last week about Arkansas playing the A&M Bulldogs. I said, I want to see those three linebackers, Dix and Sorey and who's the other one?
Bradley Shaw.
Shaw. I want to see those guys each with 8 to 10 tackles apiece.
Yep.
I never seen a defensive box score like Arkansas's. We made mention of the fact that there was 29 players on defense that recorded a stat, and that's a good thing. But there was the leading tackler on the team was Smalls with like 4. He had like 3 solos and an assisted tackle for
Really?
a total of 4. Where A-State, they're Nelson, their linebackers, they're all on 10. Kirksey with 8. Grill was 7. They're all getting to multiple players going to the ball. We had so many solo tackles, and that's good. On one hand, you're like, okay, that's good. But then on the other hand, were we trying to go to the ball? I just didn't really understand. I don't know what to make of that defensive box score. Other than to say, I think Arkansas is just going to out-talent them. I think the line play is where you're going to see, hopefully, a big difference between the Razorbacks and the Red Wolves. So what I'm saying is don't sleep on this team. I said this is kind of a trap game. They're going to be up for it now. With them not having very many local homeboys on their team either, I don't know how they're going to view, is this going to be the Super Bowl to them? It should be.
Yeah.
But is it? I don't know. We're living in a different day and age in NIL and revenue sharing where kids are playing for dollar bills instead of
rivalries
and so I don't know about all that. I do think Arkansas is going to win this ball game. I really think they're going to win it handily. But did you know what the spread is on the game?
I haven't seen.
It's 23.5.
Really?
Yeah. So would you be surprised if I told you that most people was picking us not to cover the spread?
I wouldn't be surprised with that.
Yeah, I don't think anybody from Hog Sports, maybe one guy over there picked us to cover it, but I don't think so. I know Trey didn't, and I know Danny didn't,
and just to be sure, they're
Josh
saying
Pate.
that we're not going to beat them by 23.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
They picked us to win 14 to 21 points.
Yeah, I don't know if I
range.
would pick the over on that.
So I think I'm going to pick the over on that.
Really?
I think I'm going to pick us to win. I don't know. I didn't go back to see what I said earlier. Like again, that was our thoughts then. These
Just
are
a
our
random.
thoughts now.
Yeah.
We didn't have anything to go by. Excuse me. Sorry about that. We didn't have anything to go by then. Now we've got a week to look at. I'm going to pick us to win this ball game 45-21, which would be 24, be 3 touchdowns and a field goal, and cover the spread.
Really? Okay. Yeah, we're just getting into it then. No interceptions. Yeah, no, I'm ready to wrap up too. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say here. I'm sick, so you just got to bear with me. But yeah, so just closing thoughts there. Arkansas State, I do agree with you. The players aren't going to know, if they're not from Arkansas, how much this game actually means to both of these fan bases and to the state. I still think Butch Jones is going to get these guys to buy into the we've got to win this
I think
game.
he understands.
Yes,
I think
he's
understands.
being talked to by everybody at this college. They know. He knows for sure what
Yeah.
this means. So he's going to try to get these guys up for it, and it's a chance to play on national television. You're playing against an SEC school, so this is still going to be a big game. They've got an incredible offense. So I don't know what I said previously. I'm sure I said something stupid like 58-2 or something dumb. Both teams are going to score in quite a bit. I don't think Arkansas will cover the spread just because of how invested Arkansas State's going to be into this game and how much they're going to win and how good Jalen Rayner I think
He's
is
a
going to
good ball
play.
player. I'm very impressed with him.
I think he's going to ball out this game. I think Taylor Green's going to ball out this
He's an
game.
Arkansas
So
State guy too. I mean, he started as a freshman.
still there.
He played all last year. This is his junior season. He probably if he continues to play the way he played last week,
Going to get
he's
paid.
probably going to get paid to play somewhere else next year.
I mean, hey, if they put all their eggs in one basket and just pay him enough to stay there,
You never know.
yeah. So yeah, a lot of offense this game. But
You picking a big score? I think the over for the game was like 63 or something total. I think you're going to go over that, ain't you? I went over that.
let me see here.
I said 45-21. That's
I'll say
60.
this. I hope both teams, but especially hope Arkansas can keep the penalties to a minimum so that they give themselves a chance to really put themselves in a position to handily win. But I think it's going to be a lot of offense played. Hopefully, Arkansas can step up big time in it. But I agree. I think we're just going to be too big, too strong for them. I think it's going to be the offensive line's really going to give Talon a lot of time. I'm going to say they're not going to cover the spread just because of how important this game is. I think Arkansas State's going to come to play. I do think that they're gonna win though by 3 scores. I'm gonna pick them to win by 21. You're gonna have to help me with the math because I think Arkansas State's gonna win 25 or score 25 points. So that'd be about what 47? No.
So you think Arkansas State's going to score
25, and we're gonna win by
25 's
21.
a weird number to score.
Well, that's a 3 touchdowns and a field goal.
No, it's 24.
24. Okay, yeah.
All right. So
So-
you want 21 over that?
21 over that. So 44, 45.
What did I pick them? Didn't I pick them 45-21?
I don't know. Guys, I was homeschooled,
Hold
so
on.
just give me a minute. 21.
45 minus
24.
21 is 24. That's what I picked them. You think the Red Wolves are going to score 24?
Yeah, and we're going to win by
so
25.
you're going to pick them 45-24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was right. Okay.
Same score, except for you're going to give them an extra field goal on top of the 3
Yep.
touchdowns. I
Yep.
got you. Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
That threw me for a second.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was trying to be difficult.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good prediction. I think we're going with the same amount of total points. No,
No, because you're covering the spread.
I've got them covering spread. But anyways, very similar score.
Guys, we're sick.
Here's the deal.
Well, no, what's going
This
on?
can be a game. If Butch Jones could win this game, it's a game that he gets a promotion.
Yes.
And Sam
Oh.
Pittman gets fired.
It's fine.
I
was
don't think
gonna.
it'll happen.
I
but
was gonna ask if we lose this game, and I think I asked you this in the game before. And Sam, if you're watching this, I love you. I hope you stay here
Sam Pittman's not
forever.
watching this.
He's watching. I guarantee you. He's
Okay.
He's a fan of the
Hey, Sam.
Hind Hogs. I love you. I hope you stay here forever and do great. This is just a what if. If he does lose this game, do you think he gets let go and Bobby is moved up for interim head coach?
So that was my prediction prior to the season.
You predicted that to happen?
Yeah.
You thought A-State's
I
winning it?
said,
Or
no, I
or just
said-
the circumstance
I
if
just
he
said
loses.
if
Yeah.
he-
Okay.
I said this is a situation where he could be fired
Yeah.
second game of the season, and then Bobby Petrino would be the acting head coach, and then I would say then why not just move him on up to head coach?
Mhm.
If he can be the offense coordinator, if he can be the interim head coach, he can be the head coach. Yeah, but I mean this is not going to happen. Our Razorbacks are going to win by
Yep.
24 points. They're going to cover the spread, and we're going to have a fun day in Little Rock. Hopefully, the weather's great. Looks like it's going to be good. They're already saying parking's going to be a nightmare.
Hopefully they got
There's
some water.
always something going on at the stadium. Hopefully the bathrooms work.
There's water in the
There's water and
concession. The
concessions.
mics
You
work.
can-
The cameras work.
I mean, it's just
You don't get robbed on the way to the stadium.
right. So
Yeah. Little Rock's not that bad. They're just not that good. But yeah, guys, super excited for the game Saturday. Tune in. We're going to be doing an on-field live instant reaction. We're going to be doing a live on-field instant reaction because we're going to the game. I'm going to have the podcast equipment ready for us to go, and be tuned. Tune in, be ready for it. We're gonna give you that
comment,
as soon as
let
it
us know
comes
what your
out.
predictions are for the game. Let us know what you think scores. Are they going to cover? What do you think about the defense? What do you think?
I had the under on this podcast being 10 minutes. By the way,
Oh, you're crazy.
we're 50. I had no notes for this. I wasn't
You don't
prepared at
need
all.
'em. You need a little bit of bullet points. You don't need big
Yeah.
long stuff wrote out. I'm telling you, we can talk.
Yeah, I know I can. Even when I'm sick. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment, share with
As
everybody.
always, brought to you by Shelter Insurance Dillinger Agency,
I got-
licensed in Arkansas, Tennessee, Missouri.
I got a
Home,
thing for 'em right
auto,
here.
health, life,
Those guys right
farm.
there, Shelter Insurance.
We're your shield. We're your shelter. Give me a call, 870-578-5900. Call or text that number anytime. I got your hookup, all right?
Let's do it. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in next or this coming Saturday for the game. Thank y'all. God bless and go Hogs.
Jesus saves.
Woo pig.